Hi, and welcome back to Hey, have you read this book? The title of today's book is The People Smuggler, written by Robin de Crespigny. This epic true story is about an asylum seeker who endured many years of hardship and stress to save the lives of his family and hundreds of others by becoming a people smuggler. Ali al-Janabi grew up in Iraq in the 1970s. When he was 10 years old, his father was thrown into prison because he had criticized Saddam Hussein. Ali and his 8-year-old brother Ahmad then had to support the family by selling cigarettes at the market after school. Ali's father spent 9 months in jail where he was tortured, followed by 7 months in a mental asylum, and was then forced to fight for 7 years in a war against Iran, a war he deeply disagreed with. By 1991, Ali's parents had 9 children. Then one day Ali, his brother Ahmad and his father were all thrown into Abu Ghraib, Saddam's most notorious prison, where they were starved and tortured for almost 4 years. Ali was released from Abu Ghraib and, not knowing what had happened to his father or brother, decided to leave his family to become a freedom fighter to bring down Saddam Hussein. But after a while, Ali became disillusioned with the organization he had joined. 2 more brothers became prisoners in Abu Ghraib, so with his father and brothers imprisoned and his family's lives in danger, Ali, his mother, and younger brothers and sisters fled their home and were placed in a refugee camp in Duhok. After leaving the camp, the family lived in Erbil, with the sounds of gunfire from tanks and bombs landing all around them. The family, with thousands of others, fled to Iran. Ali became separated from his family. Ali decided to apply to the UN for his family to be resettled in Australia, where his married sister was already living. After months of waiting, his application was turned down, and Ali became despondent. However, Ali's mother refused to accept this outcome and convinced Ali to be the first in the family to pay a smuggler to get him to Australia. Ali flew to Malaysia and then to Indonesia, ending up in Bogor. He was promised by a people smuggler to be taken to Australia by boat, but after paying his fee, he and many others were told that there was not enough space on the boat. Ali was furious that he had to wait for a few more months before another boat became available. Having no money, and with his family in Iran, Ali accepted a job to help the people smuggler. But this didn't work out, and he ended up running his own people smuggling business. The first operation turned into a disaster. The boat, which he had paid $35,000 for, ended up being smashed onto rocks, and the people were left stranded on the remote Raijua island. But Ali did not give up on these desperate people. Ali really only became a people smuggler to try to get his family out of Iran to Australia, and he also felt sorry for the desperate refugees fleeing from persecution and wanting to get to Australia, so he wanted to help them. Ali's work was dangerous and stressful. He had to keep the refugees safe and reassured, organise accommodation and transport for them while looking for a boat and a captain. He also had to bribe officials to turn a blind eye to what was going on. Most of the refugees could not pay the full fare, but Ali still tried to help them. He was often betrayed by his partners and employees, but he did not blame them. He knew that they were in desperate circumstances just like him. At last, Ali managed to get his family on a boat with 100 other people, but for over a week he was worried sick as he waited for news of their arrival. Ali became respected by the refugees for being honest, and he became a hero and saviour to them as he made sure they were safely taken to their destination. Ali cannot understand why the Australian government is so afraid of refugees who embark on such a perilous journey, risking their lives on an overcrowded boat, that they are locked up in detention centres for years. Yet the government is not concerned about the 98% of refugees who can afford to fly to Australia and who are only detained briefly and then are released into the community. People smugglers are depicted as evil by Australian politicians, but the people smugglers only exist because refugees are fleeing for their lives and there is no one else to help them. Ali was charged for people smuggling by the Australian government and spent 4 years in jail in Australia, but even after he was released, he was still made to suffer. His application for a visa was rejected by the Australian government, despite help from various people and organisations who are advocates for refugees, and the fact that his mother, brothers and sisters were recognised as refugees and became permanent residents or citizens of Australia. Read this incredible story of romance, heartbreak and humanity to find out more about this courageous, compassionate man who became known as the Oscar Schindler of Asia and had to suffer years of hardship, disappointment and betrayal to save the lives of his family and hundreds of other people, and despite all that he'd been through, was demonised by the Australian government. This book has won many Australian literacy awards and I highly recommend it. Thanks for watching.